Today we're going to be talking about standard form and how to graph lines using the intercepts that we can figure out from standard form. Standard form means ax plus by equals c. Notice that x and y are on the same side of the equation, and the capital letters tell us that there's going to be no fractions. They're all integers. That's what the capital letters are telling us. So we're going to be finding the x-intercept and the y-intercept, and then graphing the line. And our future goal is to be able to look at an equation and choose the best method to figure out how to graph it. So here are your notes. Again, ax plus by equals c is what's called standard form. Notice that x and y are on the same side of the equal sign, and the capital letters remind us that there are no fractions. C will be on the other side of the equal sign by itself. Write down the steps. We're going to plug in 0 for x and plug in 0 for y. It's what's called the cover-up method. Let me show you what we're going to do, and then I'll give you an example. We're going to pretend that x is 0. We would then have a times 0 plus b times y equals c, and we would be able to solve for y. And then we're going to plug in 0 for y, and we would be able to solve for x very easily. So let's say we had 6x plus 2y is equal to 12. If we pretend x is 0, we get 2y equals 12. Divide by 2, and y is equal to 6. We can graph that point, and that's going to be our y-intercept. Then we're going to pretend that y is 0, and we get 6x equals 12. Divide both sides by 6, and we get x equals 2. That will be our x-intercept. We now have 2 points, and we can draw our line. So here's an example, and now it's your turn to write this down. So follow with me. We're going to first plug in 0 for x, because 0 times anything is what? 0. 4 times 0 is 0, and I have negative 2y is equal to 8. I divide both sides by negative 2, and I get y is equal to negative 4. Because I have pretended that x was 0, I am finding the y-intercept, and I have found that the y-intercept is negative 4. I can graph that point on the y-axis, and I'm half done. Now I'm going to pretend y is 0. 4x minus 2 times y is equal to 8. Negative 2 times 0 is 0, and I have 4x equals 8. Divide by 4 on both sides, and I get x equals 2. This is fairly simple, isn't it? All right. Now I got 2 points. How many points does it take to graph a line? 2. And there's our line. The x-intercept is going to be 2, 0, because I pretended y was 0. And when y is 0, I'm going to be on the x-axis. Now I can figure out the slope by counting up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Up 4 over 2 reduces to 2, and the slope is 2, or 2 over 1. All right, let's try another one. Same thing, I'm going to first plug in 0 for x, and 4 times 0 is 0, and I get y equals negative 4. Well, that was pretty easy. So the y-intercept is 0, negative 4. I'm going to graph that point, and then I'm going to find the x-intercept. That means I'm going to pretend y is 0. 4x plus 0 equals negative 4. Well, that means that 4x is equal to negative 4, and if I divide both sides by 4, I get x equals negative 1. Graph that point, and I can draw my line. Oops, let's see, I need to write the x-intercept, which would be negative 1, 0. And I can figure out the slope. I always start at the lower point and count up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and left 1. So I went up 4 and left 1. That's 4 over negative 1. So the slope is negative 4. Here is your first U-try. We're not going to turn it into y equals mx plus b. We want to practice doing the cover-up method. Some people call it that because they use their thumb to cover up either the 6x or the 3y. So start off by writing 6x equals 6 and 3y equals 6 and solving to find the intercepts. Here is your next U-try. Identify the x-intercept, the y-intercept, graph the line, and then find the slope. Somebody will ask, does this work all the time? Why, if this is so easy, don't we use it all the time? Well, let's find out if it works all the time. So first I'm going to plug in 0 for x and find the y-intercept. 3 times 0 is 0, and I get 4y is equal to 8. Divide both sides by 4, y is equal to 2. All right, that's up 2 on the y-axis. So my y-intercept is 0, 2. Then I'm going to pretend y is 0, and I have 3x plus 4 times 0 equals 8. 4 times 0 is 0, so I have 3x equals 8. Divide by 3, and x is equal to 8 over 3. Oh, that's not quite so easy to graph, is it? Let's see, 8/3 is 2 2/3, I think, something like that. 2, and so it's approximately here. Well, that's kind of, guessing. So let's go back to isolating y. 3x plus 4y equals 8. I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. I get 4y is equal to negative 3x plus 8. Divide all three sides by 4, and I get y is equal to negative 3 over 4x plus 2. Well, there's my 2. I've got that point graphed already. Slope is down 3 and right 4, or up 3 and left 4. This time the cover-up method doesn't work so well, but I can still graph it using y equals mx plus b. I just have to isolate y first. Here's U-try number 3. Find out that standard form doesn't work so easily this time, and so we need to isolate y to find the slope and the y-intercept, and then graph this line. Here's the rest of your U-tries. What I want you to do is look at each equation and think to yourself, which is the best way to graph this line? Would it be easier to find the intercepts, or would it be better to rewrite it into function form, or y equals mx plus b? All right, bring your questions to class and we'll work on this some more. Make sure to do the knowledge check.